Hey friends, Andy Kennedy here with day 12 of 60 during our Toxic Truths Challenge, where we're talking about all things related to nutrition and the internal bodies for this first 2 weeks during this 6-day challenge. And moving on from there, next week, we're wrapping up these first 2 weeks. So starting on Sunday, we are going to be talking about uh, Sunday or Monday. Anyway, I think Monday. Talking about the external, so body, lotions, all the things that we put on our body or around our body on the outside. And then from there, we're going to be talking about the mind. And then from there, we're going to be talking about the home. So just feels good to be wrapping up our first 2 weeks here. And in that, today, I've talked a lot about reading the label. Today, we're going to just talk about preservatives and oils. And I have a couple of things to read from for you because, as I've said all along, my disclaimer is I am not a nutritionist. I am not a dietitian. I am not a scientist. I am someone who's been through this journey over the last almost 20 years of cleaning out my body and focusing on the toxins that are all around us and how to eliminate those, but also then how to keep my body strong and clear. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit this afternoon. At the end of this. And then if you're not aware, we have a Facebook group where I'm posting extra resources. So just wanted to plug that really quick. But back to preservatives, like I said, I've talked about this over and over throughout this first 2 weeks when it comes to nutrition, about being very vigilant about reading the label. And I've talked a little bit about the label and what some of those things are. But I haven't necessarily talked about them specifically. So I want to call attention to a couple of the things that are food additives. And just today, I was talking to a dear new friend in the neighborhood about how, fast food, like you can leave fast food out on a shelf for months, if not years, and they won't change. It won't mold. It will maybe shrivel up a little bit, but it'll still look like a hamburger, cheeseburger, whatever, and fries. And so what does that? Right? What do we humans put inside our food to make it do that, to give it that shelf life that's not only disturbing, but has negative effects on your body, which we don't want. So the first thing on the list for the EWG, which I brought up a lot before when we were talking about food colorings and such yesterday, I talked about that and added that link to our Facebook group on the side, so you can join that as well. That link is below both of these two videos, wherever you're watching it. So the first one, brominated vegetable oil. So that's one of the oils. It's an emulsifier. So it has a purpose. It had an original purpose, right, of consistency. But it's harmful to the nervous system. And so some of these harms come from science. Some of them just come from studies, over the years. But a lot of it comes from scientific studies. And you can go down that rabbit hole through the EWG website if you want. But I'm just going to move through this list because I want these videos to be just a teaser for you, just relative, basic information, so that if it resonates with you, you can go down that rabbit hole and take that a step further and study what doesn't sit right with you. These are the things that I'm saying look out for on your ingredient list, right? So if this is on your ingredient list, go on to the next item that might not have this in there, okay? So that was brominated vegetable oil. The second one is potassium bromate. It's dough conditioning. So it's in a lot of those wheat-related ingredient lists that you may see. There's an increased risk of the health harm there is an increased risk of cancer. So carcinogenic, right? Nitrate and nitrates. I mentioned that when we talk about meats. So that meat video, I talked about nitrates and trying to find meats that are either local or not, organic, not processed, not cut up already and packaged. It's sitting on styrofoam. Don't even get me started on styrofoam and microplastics. I will be talking about that at some point. I think it's in the next 2 weeks that we're talking about microplastics. So obviously styrofoam falls into that category. Obviously nitrates it's a preservative. It's a meat preservative, but we know that also can cause cancer. It's also related to all sorts of heart disorders and disease. So nitrates, definitely on the no list. Propylparaben, that's an antimicrobial. So that's going to prevent molding So that's something that's definitely in fast food, and it's an endocrine disruptor. So it's going to mess up your nervous system as well, disrupt your nervous system as well. Um, and um, Let's see. Yeah, okay. I'm just looking at this extra column here. I was missing, but I'm actually saying the things that where they are found. As I said with the oils, I didn't say where that one was found. It's found in sports drinks and sodas. The potassium bromate is found in, like I said, breads and noodles and dough-related items. Nitrates are in meats. Propylparaben can be found in corn tortillas. So I wanted to bring that up, but it's in a lot of ingredient lists as well. I've seen it on ingredient lists. So this next one, BHA, BHT, and TBHQ. These are all long lab related. Sometimes they'll say butylated. That's what the B stands for. Hydroxin. Yeah, right. So I can't even pronounce that word. What the H is for, and then A is, yeah, hydroxyanisole. The T is toluene. Yeah, anyway, can't even pronounce those. Those are antioxidants. I just know them as BHA and BHT. Again, not a scientist here. Increased risks of cancer and definitely a change to your immune system, affecting your immune system. These are all ready to eat cereals and breads. So again, when we talked about the shopping and shopping just the perimeter, that's what is good about shopping the perimeter. You're not getting any of these things because this is all the poisons down the center aisles of your grocery store. Food colorings I talked about yesterday, so I'm going to skip that one. Titanium dioxide, that is also a mineral colorant, but it still affects the digestive system. So when we talk about leaky gut, and I'll just dovetail off here for a second. We have cilia in our gut system, and that's what picks up all of the nutrients. And when we have an irritated, inflamed, leaky gut, those cilia are kind of worn down, deteriorated, not functioning. So they're not catching the nutrients that are in the foods that's moving through your food system. So even if you're eating very healthy, but you feel like you're gaining weight, or you feel like you're not absorbing nutrients, you're still sickly, you're still you still have some of those symptoms like bags under the eyes, or sallow, or, winter kind of looking skin. I mean, I have winter looking skin right now, so I'm pale, but I still have vibrancy to my skin. I still have, some natural light and coloring in my skin. If that is gone, it's likely because you're not absorbing nutrients, or even yellowed. It's because you're not absorbing nutrients. So beware of that and how things can affect the digestive tract. So when you're looking at healing that and healing the digestive tract, it's not just about adding more nutrients in, it's adding nutrients that are bioavailable, which are whole food concentrates. In the company that I stand by, we promote, because the reason for that is that it's a bioavailable small dose every day that you're taking. And so you're building that cilia back up, you're building that nutrient density back up, and you're building that ability to make good cells back up. Other ways you can do that, high dosing yourself on herbs, but some people can't tolerate that. But nettle broth I made the other night, with nettle, lovage, and rosemary, things like that can also help heal the digestive tract. So little dovetail there on what we can be doing to help fight some of this, right? Flush it out and then repair the system that's damaged. The last thing on my list of food additives is, again, let me say if I'm saying this word right. Acylsulfame. No, I said that right. So it looks like ACE and then sulfame, potassium, aspartame, saccharin, sucralose. All of those natural, the non-nutritive, even synthetic sweeteners, are linked to weight gain, change in metabolism, which means you're not able to not only digest but use the foods that you're eating, right? And where those are found are in diet beverages. They're also sometimes found in ice cream, which is disturbing. So that's the preservatives. And then oils. I'm going to rattle this list off quick. Canola oil, corn oil, cottonseed oil, grapeseed oil, rice bran oil, safflower oil, soy or oil, if it's GMO, and sunflower oil. And then, so those are all the ones to avoid. The ones to add in: olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, and even natural butter. I think Kerrygold is such a great farm-raised butter. that I can tolerate just fine. I also really love ghee. So if you're someone that still wants to keep butter, just get clarified butter. And those are all good oil. High heat, low heat, have a variety of those. But high heat means that it's not going to smoke, it's not going to burn, it's not going to be carcinogenic once it's burnt. So those are all our good oils and the oils to avoid. So I hope that's helpful. I think reading the label is important. If you don't know what the ingredient is, maybe just stick that with that rule for yourself instead of trying to memorize all of these, or have them on a hot list like I do through the EWG or other websites. This oils one is actually from a chiropractor that I found. So you can also just Google these things. But I love the EWG site, and I love, like, you can just be in the grocery store and scan the label and it will tell you the quantity of toxicity in that food or that body item. So I'll bring EWG up again because that's important. They're also the good source for water. I mentioned when we talked about water in like day 4 or so. So anyway, preservatives, not good for your body. Basically, creating formaldehyde within your body, cancerous, and also, you know, yucky, hard for the body to get rid of, and definitely can't absorb. So your body's going to put fat cells around it, and that's why often we're overweight, because we're toxic. So hope that's helpful. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. For all of you who are watching live, I see you, Jade and Joan, and all the friends that are supporting me through this. This 60-day challenge is my challenge, but I'll challenge you in that to take 1 or 2 of these things a week and see if you can either cut them out or just have more awareness around them, and then tell a friend, because the only way that we retain knowledge is by sharing it. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow on our Toxic Truths Challenge.